What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Man City at home in the league, 8 o'clock on Saturday, massive league game. Let's preview it. Now, I don't know why, and I've said this in the last couple of games, I don't know why, but I've got a good feeling. I really have. There's a good feeling around the football club at the moment. There really is. I mean, Monday night, you see it in my vlog. The atmosphere was bouncing. I was the happiest I've been following West Ham in a long time on Saturday. And I think a lot of West Ham fans were as well. On X or on Facebook or on Instagram, everyone's buzzing and there is a feel-good, happy feeling. And I do think we carry it on into this game. Now, I'm not saying, we're going to go and batter City. I think it's going to be 1-0 and Tati Castellanos will score the winner with a header, to be specific. But I don't know why I feel this confident. I mean, I watched bits of the Man City game last night. They were well beaten by Real Madrid, and I think they're vulnerable. We're vulnerable, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be in the bottom three. But they're vulnerable like they haven't been before. They really aren't the team they were in Guardiola's first 5 years in charge. They really seem to be a different team since Liverpool won the league last season. I think Arsenal go on to win the league. I could obviously be proven wrong, but I really see a difference in Man City. I see a difference in their play style. I see a difference in their recruitment, and it isn't to the levels, in my opinion, that it was a couple of years ago. Enough about Man City though. I want to talk about West Ham and where I think we're going to excel, where we're going to struggle, and all things West Ham in this preview. So the big news is, unfortunately, Jimmy Somerville is out of the game. He is injured and looks to be out of both this game and the Villa game. There is the international break coming up, so he's probably going to miss that as well, apparently, which I'm gutted for him on a personal level. He deserves an international call-up, he does. But on a West Ham level, I'm buzzing, because it's 2 weeks that he can recover, get fitness back, and then be fit for the run-in that maybe includes a trip to Wembley. So he's going to be a big miss. But other than that, apparently we've got a fully fit squad, so that's good. I'm recording this on the Thursday morning, and it will obviously go out when you see this on the Friday. But as far as I know at the moment, there is no other injuries, and Jimmy is the only one. Who comes in for Jimmy is the big question. For me, I'd be playing Juve over forward, bringing in Walker Peters. Put Walker Peters at left back, or Scholesy, whichever one you want to say, and put Juve over forward and say, right, you're an out-and-out winger, you're not an inside forward, you're not coming inside, because Bowen wants to do that. Jimmy wants to do that, and I do think at times you can crowd out the same area too much. So if you offer genuine width with Juve, which we know he can do, we know he can bang a cross in and give him the protection behind, then yeah, I think it could work. The other option would be, do you bring in a Adama Traore? Obviously he's got previous against Man City. I think he scored in a win for Nuno, for Wolves, a number of years ago. So he's one that could come in. I don't think he did too badly against Brentford. I don't. I think the issue with him is, can he last 90 minutes? But obviously, if he can't, you play him for however long he can last, and then bring on Juve, or you bring on someone else to take over that role, and we go from there. Now, for me, the second talking point is, who are you playing at the back? For me, it's Mavropanos and Disasi. Todibo, yes, he's been very good, but that red card come at the wrong time. Disasi has come into the team, and he's, as far as I'm concerned, if we stay out, the first thing we should do is go and sign him. So he's guaranteed to start for me. But it's, who do you put alongside him? Do you put Todibo, who's more comfortable on the left side of the defence than Mavropanos? Or do you put on Mavropanos because Disasi and him have a good relationship together? They clearly They clearly suit each other's play styles. They're not ball playing centre halves. They're actual defenders, similar to we had with Dawson and Ogbonna a couple of years ago. So it all depends what you want. For me, we're not going to have a lot of the ball, so you want your defenders to be able to defend. And I do think Todibo can go missing. Marshy said it on Extra Time last night on West Ham Fan TV in the show that I was in. He reminds me a lot of Aguerd, Todibo does. He can go missing, he can switch off, and he's not as defensively astute, I don't think. He's better on the ball, but he's not as good defensively. So it'll be Mavropanos and Sassy for me at the back. Wan-Bissaka, Walker-Peters, Juve on the left, Bowen on the right, Tatty up front, Pablo in the 10, and then Souček and Mati Fernandez in the middle. Now, we can't talk about Man City and not talk about the robot, because he may be in good form, he may be in bad form. Whatever kind of form Erling Haaland is in, he can find a goal. So I'm a little bit worried about the ball in behind. If we are on the ball, we do attack, we've got to be able to get in quickly, which is why you probably do want Disasi. You probably do want Mavropanos, because yes, they're not the quickest, but if you're going to sit in a low block and just try and defend him and marshal him, you want two players that are a bit more physical, that can sit in that low block, that can sense danger a bit more than Todibo can. Because whatever moment of the game, he's a threat from minute 1 to minute 90. He's one of the best strikers in the world. For me, he's the best striker in the world. Not the best footballer, but the best goal scorer in the world. If we can keep him quiet, we'll be a long way to winning that game. Now, I said it against Fulham, and I said it against Brentford. The fans really have got to play their part. It was a banging atmosphere against Fulham, and it was a banging atmosphere against Brentford. Let's go and carry it on. The fans, get behind the boys. I can't stress this enough. Back the boys. Get behind them. And we can go and cause an upset. We really can. I'm very, very, very excited for Saturday's game. I think there'll be chances at both ends of the pitch, but the fans can drag them over the line. We've seen it in night games. See your Sevillas, see your Lyons. You see it on Monday. It's a banging atmosphere. Get behind them. Cheer. If we go 1-0 down, cool, rally behind them, because they need us as much as we need them to win. They need us to get behind them. And I'm one of the more negative fans, or I've been called in the past, but I really am trying to change my view and get behind them and sing the songs. I've moved to a new area of the ground that's a bit more lively, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying going West Ham in a minute, because we've got a team that are trying. We've got a manager that I always think gets the club, and yes, I've been critical of him at times, especially during that Chelsea game. I was very critical of him, but he has now turned out to be the manager that I'd hoped we would get, and I'm very, very, very happy. I want to end this video talking about one player in particular, and that's Thomas Souček. Thomas Souček. The word legend gets branded around so much these days, but I would say Thomas Souček is a West Ham legend. Obviously, he did amazing when he first came in, got a lot of goals for us as a box-to-box midfielder, and then the season after dropped further back to almost the whole in midfield role to allow Rice to go forward. And then when Moyes left, you had Lopetegui come in. He didn't fancy him, and then was eventually brought back into the fold by him. You then had Potter, didn't really fancy him, then brought back into the fold by him. And then now you've had Nuno, didn't really start him when he first came in, but now he's fought back into his plans again. Thomas Souček is the definition of a West Ham legend. He gets a lot of hate from our fan base for not being the best footballer. I know he's not, but he tries, he runs, and he scores goals. And I do think he's got a massive part to play, because City, we know they're vulnerable at the back. Yes, Mark Gahey is unbelievable, he's been a great signing, cool. But if we can target their other centre-halves and their other defenders, then I do think pushing Souček kind of closer when we have the ball to the strikers, to allow them to run in behind, to allow them to pick up the second balls, could be something we could target. I'm very, very, very optimistic that Souček will have a massive part to play with this. You know he's going to chuck himself in front of a ball. You know he's going to literally die for the cause. The amount of cuts and bruises and wounds that guy has had playing for West Ham, you know he's going to give it all. And I think in this game in particular, City aren't going to like it. They're not going to like a 6'4" lump, like running at them and chasing them down and tackling and being in there with his head. They're not used to that. Like, he's got a massive part to play. Fernandes, play a bit deeper, almost a deep line playmaker. With those defence splitting passes, balls in behind, balls over the top, he can do something. I wouldn't have played Magassa, that's why I've said I'd play Souček and Fernandes. I wouldn't have played Magassa or Potts in this game. Magassa had a stinker on Monday. It happens. I still think he's a good player, but he didn't do well enough to justify a place for me. And Potts, again, why would you change a winning team? So yeah, go with that team, get in their faces. Do not sit back, obviously, let them have more of the ball, but don't sit back to the detriment of the team. Don't sit back to the detriment of the game. Get in their faces when we can. Play percentage football, and I genuinely believe we can go and win. I'm going for a 1-0 win, like I said. Tatty with the header, and I believe we get the 3 points and probably get out of the relegation zone over the weekend, hopefully. The things I do to see us and Forest both win and Tottenham lose, and then they drop into the bottom three, would be jokes. It really would. But yeah, I'm not counting my chickens yet. There's obviously, even after this weekend, there's still 8 games to go. So all we can do is control what we can control, and hopefully have a good night at the bowl and get the 3 points. If you guys have enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment your thoughts, West Ham fans, Man City fans. What do you think the score's going to be? Who's going to score? What kind of game do you think it's going to be? Football fans in general, if you don't support either team, either way, put it in the comments. Most of all, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Take care.